Today. Oh. Okay, guys. This is your breakfast show, and we're in the Pursuit of Success section of the show, and we have with us the one and only Ken Okoarofo from the Financial Joy Academy. All right, how we doing? Ken?
Yeah, I'm here.
Excellent.
Can you hear me?
Thank you. Yep, I can hear you perfectly. Thank you so much for that. All right, guys. So we had that song now, Look at Me Now. Such a hopeful, such an inspiring song. And we have a really inspiring individual here, Ken, with us today, sharing his journey on the pursuit of success and the importance of love life and relationship to achieve financial independence. And just before the timeout, he was giving us a bit of an idea of how the romance started between him and his lovely wife Mary. They both met at a property investment or property development venue. I don't know exactly the term, but that already showed us that you're gonna, wherever you meet your person, your prospective partner, will already say a lot about them, And one of the things about Mary, I remember you said from my last interview that when she would speak, she would tell you about particular books that she was reading, isn't it? Think and Grow Rich, yeah. And she had already that type of interest, right?
Yes, absolutely. And she had savings.
And she had savings. Wow. So wait, you didn't have savings, she had savings.
She had more savings than I did.
She had more. So you're like, this one could be a keeper. She's like, okay, good signs. Oh, fantastic. Well, just before the timeout, we posed to you some questions, yeah? As you've told us your story about how you two met. And this is something that I think is really, really important. And obviously, when you decide, you two met in an environment of I could say personal development, in terms of property and all that kind of stuff. You met in that environment, but after you guys got together, I mean, at what point was there a conversation about, heading towards financial independence and paying the price? How did that conversation go? What was that like?
That conversation has started from when we met, because the event we were attending was about how you use property potentially as a tool or as a strategy for working towards financial independence as one way you can explore it. So that conversation was already being had indirectly, but because we were not a couple or anything at that stage, it was more kind of like, okay, so what was, talking about more of our motivations, as it were, or why you wanted that and so on. That was what that conversation was about. But after we then, decided that, got engaged and so on, we knew it was a longer term goal, but there were some more immediate things that we needed to achieve, such as actually getting married and, getting past the challenge with that in terms of like what the costs and so on, practicalities, and then after all of that had happened and the dust kind of settled from all of that, then the question then became, what's our 10-year vision? What are we trying to achieve in the next decade?
Okay, so sorry to pause there. So the question is, after you got the marriage sorted out, all that stuff's done, what is our 10-year vision? This is a serious conversation. What, did you sit down at a desk or a table, or was you on the couch?
Actually, we were in Zanzibar, in Tanzania.
Okay.
On the beach.
Oh.
And that was where we were just having a chat. We've never been back. We cannot wait to go back to that part of the world. But it's a very memorable one for us. Just when you're in a different environment and your routines are different, you tend to have more capacity to have vision. Always think about.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I totally agree with that. As soon as you change up the scenery, you can have some type of elevated conversations, more elevated. So yeah, that's true. So okay.
So that's where that whole thing started. It's kind of when we said, okay, this is kind of where we want to be in 10 years. The vision for us was, bear in mind, at this stage, we hadn't even bought a home together.
Wow.
The vision for us was, we want to be completely mortgage free. We want to be completely debt-free. We want to own investments in different asset classes. We wanted to be financially independent in 10 years as a couple. And we were both on the same page about it. I was like, okay, well, that's kind of what we want to try and do. Well, how do we start? You know?
Absolutely. Because those are big goals, right? I mean, mortgage free, you don't just throw that out there. It's like, I believe if she's responding, it's like, yeah, this is what we want to do as well, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a huge goals, because bear in mind, like, saying stuff like that, we didn't know a single person who would achieve those goals.
Okay.
Not even our parents had done anything like that.
Wow.
You know, we're for context to the people listening, like I'm a first generation immigrant to this country. I'm married born to immigrant parents in London. So, we just, these are kind of, for us anyway, because we're kind of out of this world goals, but goals we knew were possible because we were starting to see just evidence of people doing things in a radically different way, making certain different life decisions that meant that their money was working for them in a different way than we were used to. So we were very interested in learning what those different ways could be and how that might actually help us as well, on our journey.
Okay, so you both were very open to learn. You're very open to learn, and with an openness that anything is possible, right? Now, if Mary was someone that spent most of her time, watching sitcoms, just talking unfruitful stuff, with just other people who watch sitcoms continuously, she wouldn't have, even though she would love the idea of what you guys are proposing, it wouldn't be something tangible for her. If you get, would you agree? Because the mind has to be right.
Yeah, exactly. The mind has to be right, and that then has to drive the practical day-to-day. So, and the reason a good framework I use for this, I always use this POST framework, which is there needs to be, the mind feeds into the P, which is purpose. And the purpose is your why. Like, why on earth are you even trying to achieve anything? Like, why are you trying to achieve a goal like financial independence? Why does it even matter? Forget what people are saying about it. Forget what you've seen on Instagram. Forget what you've heard on YouTube. Like, why does it matter for you? What's the why for you, the purpose? And out of that almost overarching purpose for you, you then have the O, which is your objectives. Like, what? Now you know, almost broadly speaking, why, the core motivation. The objectives then become tangibly. What does it look like in numbers? Like, what number is it you're trying to hit? Why does it matter? What's that number, and why have you chosen that number? And then after that objective, setting the number, it's then the S is a strategy. So how are you going to do it? What are the approaches you see? And why would you choose that approach or not? If you don't choose that approach, what other approach could you choose and why? And then the T would be your tactics, which is, once you've chosen an approach, what day-to-day things could you start to do to make sure that your 50 in-laws don't contact you on WhatsApp taking all your money, but you're able to actually save your money and follow that strategy you've come up with to achieve your objectives, to achieve your core purpose that you set yourself.
Okay, so that was T for tactics. The last one. Yeah. Tactics. Wow. All right. So, oh gosh, I mean, guys, I hope you're taking notes there. We will have this available online as well, as it's been taken by our moderator, JST. So those are the things that you use that acronym to kind of help you both to kind of focus going forward, right?
Yeah, think of it as like just a structure to just help you, a loose structure for anything you're trying to work towards in life. just ask yourself, just remember the word post, P-O-S-T. It's what's the purpose of that? Because if there's no purpose, if the purpose is not strong enough, the rest of it wouldn't work, because you would just be wasting your time and your energy.
Yeah, it's quite.
Purpose is roots. Yeah,
it's quite interesting how human beings are, right? Because I know that if I have something that I'm really, I desire, that I'm really strong about in front of me, I can move heaven and earth, and I will make sure that I will achieve that thing because it's so important to me. It's a worthwhile purpose. It's a worthwhile goal. However, sometimes when people say things like money or something that's not tangibly purposeful for them, they may want something, but they will not pay the necessary price or sacrifices to obtain it. So that's why it has to start with a purpose first.
Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting you mentioned sacrifices. When we come to talk about challenges, this is one of the things I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Because you can't have your cake and eat it, as it were. Like if you want to tell a different story in the future, you have to begin telling that story today.
Okay.
And that speaks to sacrifices, So, for example, you can't say, I want a 4-bed house in the countryside. I want the Range Rover parked in front of that. I want 3 holidays a year, one in the Caribbean, one in the UK, and a weekend. You can't have all those things and obviously live on debt to finance all those things and then expect that in the future you will have abundance. It doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. So sacrifice is quite key. It's a key aspect of what features on this journey, as it were.
So, what kind of challenges did the both of you face?
So after we kind of got past how do we finance the wedding, as it were, how do we pay for it, what do we do, and stuff like that. A number of challenges were they kind of varied. They kind of came at different stages. So I'd say the key one was having children. By that I mean, like, there's a real cost to having kids. Like, if anyone's got time, go and watch a video we made on YouTube called "The Real Cost of Having a Child." Go and watch that video. There's a real cost of having children that not a lot of people talk about. But a big part of those costs, a big part of it is financial, and a huge impact that comes with having children is the impact on incomes, because oftentimes one person, it's mostly usually the mum, for us it was Mary, has to either, and we want a different type of childhood for our children. We wanted to be more present or available, so that meant a career change, which meant a hit on income, which meant a much more reliance on one income and stuff like that. So that was actually quite a challenge for us in the early days of becoming parents and stuff like that, because we had to really become even more savvy with the money we had coming in, and become even more bold in terms of what we were doing to increase our income every year, rather than just kind of relying on what we had. So that would be one challenge.
Okay.
The second challenge, I'd say, is change in lifestyle. So we'd had a lifestyle where it was like, I want that Rolex watch. I'm gonna try and save up for it. I'm gonna try and get that Rolex watch or whatever. That lifestyle, and that lifestyle basically is a living for today mindset.
Yeah.
So we had to change that, which was we had to basically subscribe to a simple, minimal lifestyle, which is, we don't need our home filled with things. Basically, we don't need to open catalogs and pick things out and go, I think that would look nice here. We don't need all of them. We don't need a really nice, flashy car sitting outside. We don't need to do what everybody else is doing. So we started to become countercultural and shifting our lifestyle to become very simple. Like, for example, we just stopped shopping. Like, what's the point of just buying clothes all the time? Like, what value does it add, really, as a value how about just using what you've got? So we started doing things like wearing quite simple, plain clothes. Like before, I used to want to buy clothes that had brand names written on them, so you could visually see it. But the problem with that was that I had a problem with self-worth. I didn't really, I was looking for validation for the wrong reasons.
Okay.
Whereas what I really needed was to understand who I was and what mattered to me, rather than caring at all what anyone thinks.
Wow.
So shifting to simplicity of plain clothes, blacks, greys, white, just simple, clean clothes I could buy very cheaply.
Because you won't die.
And no one will care, mattered a lot, because then we started to accessorize ourselves differently. And it became quite elegant. People were like, oh, okay, I'm kind of liking this stuff. But then that meant we started to see more of our own money. So changing lifestyle was a challenge initially, but it's become a core part of who we are and stuff like that.
Exactly.
I'd say the third challenge was staying consistent. So when you set a goal can be quite a big thing. It can be almost overwhelming because you're like, oh my God, this thing seems so far away. Is it really worth it?
Yeah.
And why am I trying to do this thing and stuff like that? So staying consistent is actually really, really hard, because and it helps to have two people who believe in the same thing, because one person will remind the other, this is why we're doing it. This is what we're trying to get to. So I'm giving an example. It's, for example, deciding to pay off our mortgage in 7 years. That meant that we paid off our mortgage when we were 35, something like 35, which is 3 years ago.
Sorry, repeat that again, sorry?
I said we paid off the mortgage 7 years ago. In 7 years, rather, which was when we were 35. So we're 37 now.
Wow.
But that goal was overbearing. I'll tell you why, because the mortgage had a 25-year term.
Yes.
So it's very difficult to envision 25 years becoming 7.
Yes.
But if you start to understand how money works, and understand this idea of sacrifice, and understand what things you can do to achieve a goal like that overwhelm starts to become more like a defined plan.
Yeah.
It starts to become more like, okay, I can see, we went from 25 to 15 years, and then 15 to 12 years,
wow.
12 years to 10 years. You can see it kind of dropping by making certain decisions.
Yeah.
So I'd say a challenge for us was then staying consistent, really sticking to our guns, even when people are saying to us, why are you trying to do that? Why, why are you trying to do that? Why don't you just put your money in, only through the stock market? We're like, no, we're not doing that, because we also invest in the stock market, but we're doing this mortgage thing for a reason. Yeah. Because we knew it would buy us back so much more freedom than anyone in the history of our family, each of our families has ever experienced.
Amazing.
So we knew why we were doing what we were doing, but the challenge was, how do you keep staying consistent? What systems you put in place to stop you, one day going, I'm stuck in this now, and I'm just gonna splurge and just spend my money. So that was one thing. It's just that trying to stay consistent.
Okay, fantastic. Now, throughout all of this, okay, so you told us about having, obviously one of the other challenges was having children, changing your lifestyle and staying consistent. Now, did Mary have any moments where, I can't dress how I want? I mean, she was very simple, like you said before, isn't it? She wasn't like a flamboyant dresser or crazy with bad brand names and things like that, right? Because most women, if the woman will have a heart attack, if you're gonna start modifying their wardrobe, and cutting things back. I mean, how was her attitude?
It's funny because we both liked good things. And good things involve buying really nice clothes, branded wares, and so on. But it took us both saying to ourselves that, we can still have fun. And this is a very important point to make. Because oftentimes people say, you're doing all this. That means your life's not fun. No, our life is still a lot of fun. In fact, it's even better because we know we're working towards something worthwhile as well.
Absolutely.
So it's important to keep having some fun, find ways to have fun, but fun doesn't mean spending all your money.
Absolutely.
So there had to be shifts. For example, she was already quite simple, but still had an interest in like things that were nice, just like I did. You know, I wanted a nice watch, or and that's because I saw my friends with nice watches. I wanted a nice car because I saw my friends with nice cars. Yeah, so there was a lot of that going on, but it was more a question of like, what do we want? Like, what do we want? Like, what do we really want that's not driven by other people? So you hear the phrase following the Joneses.
Yeah.
Like the point at which you realize that you're no longer following people is the point at which you start to really discover yourself and really start to achieve goals that matter to you. Because a lot of people's decisions, even the car they drive today, might have been driven, if they really traced it back to what somebody said or what they saw somebody driving, or what, there's always, our decisions are influenced a lot by other people.
It's true.
But this journey to financial independence is quite an individual journey. You have to be kind of like, you have to fight what's known as the resistance. The resistance is what stops you trying to achieve something. So a good example of a resistance is your sister calls you and goes, "Hey man, I've just picked up the latest Jaguar. They've got this latest car. I've just picked it up. We're paying for it for £400 on finance. It's affordable. We can afford it. We can just about make it work." That's the resistance.
Yeah.
Because you're like, hang on a sec. That car's 45k, but they're paying like £400 a month. And they're kind of getting by. I think I can squeeze that into my budget.
It's true.
Yeah. So the battle then becomes, how do you fight that resistance that's come from a trusted source, which is your sister or your brother? How do you fight that resistance?
Gosh, this stuff is psychological.
Yeah. How do you actually say, well, actually, do you know what? I love you, sis, but I'm going to stick to my decision. That there is, if you're able to make that decision, it says a lot about your understanding of who you are.
Wow.
And this journey is about know thyself. About know thyself. And that's what's going to take you to where you'll get to.
Fantastic. Ken, thank you so much for that, because I know that you've got there's so much, there's so much you've done, so much you've learned, so much you've invested in yourself, that you and your wife have both invested in yourselves. I don't know if Hugo, did you put the picture of the beautiful couple? Because we need to see what his wife looks like. Yeah, okay. You've been showing that, yeah. But thank you so much for that. And I think, guys, because we've run out of time, but if you want to see more from Ken, just go to thehumblepenny.com, visit thehumblepenny.com, or if you just search on YouTube, The Humble Penny, everything's there. All the material. You could spend the whole 2 days with Ken and Mary, literally.
You can also just check us out come on Instagram. We share some really we'll just go at The Humble Penny on Instagram. Follow us there. We're always sharing just bits about what we're learning, bits about our journey. It's a good place to come. There was also mention of Financial Joy Academy earlier, so feel free to check out, which is our other sister platform. FinancialJoyAcademy.com is where we're literally practically holding hands with various families and working this journey with them. Those who really want to take it seriously towards achieving financial independence.
Absolutely amazing. So guys, this is it. All right, guys, so look, definitely you have to check out everything that Ken's doing. I literally splurge on their information. I'm like, I get so many nuggets. I've even changed the way I'm doing my mortgage, literally, because I'm making it. You just have to check their YouTube channel. Check their YouTube channel, because it will impact and bring value to your life. So just 3 things that Ken said just as he rounded it up. Goals that matter to you. All right, there are different things that are happening around us, keeping up with the Joneses, what like fashion's saying, what music's saying, what people are saying, what your relatives are saying, but you have to find the goals that matter to you as an individual. So if you've got your partner, the two of you are one. So you really have to find goals that matter to both of you and work hard, because you've seen the benefits from what Ken's saying of when you're both in agreement to go on this journey to financial independence. And also fight the resistance there as you make your decisions to do something better for your life. Not everybody will understand. Temptations will come, but keep remembering your purpose. Have that discipline to work towards it, and having two is, like Ken was saying, it just makes it so doable. All right, Ken, also, I want to ask you one question. What can a person do if they have a partner that's not on the same boat with them? I know, Hugo, we're going to finish the program, I know, but I just want to get this one.
Wow.
What can a person do?
So first things first, I want to say we've got two pieces of resources for that. Head over to the Humble Penny and search for that topic. Just search financial independence. We made a video about that. Yep. Also on our blog at humblepenny.com, a blog post called How to Get Your Partner on Board.
Ooh, I love it.
That's the post. Now, just to mention quickly, what can someone do? I would say that the person who is the person going on the journey and should begin to show some evidence of why this journey matters. Okay. I.e., like, what difference is me saving 20% of my net income per month having on our family compared to me saving just 5% or zero? Yeah, or even because a lot of winning this area is about showing the person that there's evidence of this evidence of this mattering, why it matters. Also point to them to people who you can see are genuine about this journey and what this journey how this journey has impacted their lives. Also welcome them and take them along, buy them a ticket to an event, buy them a ticket to a conference, buy them a ticket to an online event, something quite affordable, give it to them as a gift and say, look, let's go and do this together. Let's just go together, even if you're not that interested, just come along and let's just listen. People love stuff like that. It's a good way to begin to introduce them to a subject. Also buy them a book. Buy them a simple book. I haven't written my book yet, but
I'm waiting for it, brother.
One day when it happens, that might be an option for you to consider. But
absolutely.
Look, there's so many books online on our blog. If you go to thehumblepenny.com, we've got a section at the tab called Academy. You click on that, you see books I love. I've got a list of books that have been so impactful to us. Brilliant. Go there and check out that list for free and choose a book on there. Buy one for your partner and say, hey, here's a book you might want to read. And maybe even have a reading session where you have an hour a week where you both read a chapter together. It's about, getting that person over gradually. And before you know it, they'll start to hopefully show some more interest in this journey.
Yeah, it's true. We do have like a now mentality. Everything has to be now. What is wrong with you? You need to start cutting back on everything. Okay, throw those other clothes away. You're going to have the bare minimum from now. We have a now mentality, but it's a gradual process, isn't it? Everything happens like watering a plant bit by bit, and things start to bloom and develop, and roots.
Or like raising children. Or like raising children.
Well, raising children.
Anyway, people will know. The parents who are listening will know what.
I hear you, brother.
Everything you put into a child, look where they've got so far.
Absolutely.
Sort of but anyway.
All right, Ken, thank you so much for today. Yes, guys,
good,
thank you. You've been absolutely awesome. Let's just give Ken a round of applause. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Awesome today.
I'm honored. Thank you.
All right, and I wish you Godspeed to keep going out there, keep making some powerful moves that you've been doing. We're all going to be watching you. We're going to be cheering you on. You know what I mean? Remember that literally he's got this, he's got the Financial Joy Academy for us to take us by the hand on this financial journey if you want more personal coaching. So when you go to his YouTube, when you go to the website, thehumblepenny.com, you'll have access to all that information at The Humble Penny on Instagram. Let's just get tuned in, okay? The journey doesn't have to stop here. Thank you so much, Ken, for everything. God bless you, my friend.
Take care, people.
And happy anniversary in advance. We're going to play a song for you on your anniversary on The Breakfast Show, okay?
Thank you. Much appreciated.